Hello and welcome to another episode of Fanboy Explosion. I am Seth.
Hey, this is Cameron.
And we are going to be talking today about our New Year's video game resolutions. How does that sound?
I don't know. How does it sound?
Mine sound pretty good, so I've got a couple prepared. I think you do as well. Do you want me to start or would you like to start?
You can start. You go.
Cool. So I've got a couple of them here. The first one's kind of cheesy, but I wanted to include it, and that is to make Fanboy Explosion, this podcast, the best possible thing it can be. So that is going to be a commitment to lots of content, cool stuff, like really just keep crunking stuff out all year. 2015, I think, is going to be an amazing year to be a geek, and we want to cover it all. So it's kind of generic, kind of cheesy, but I wanted to include it. So you heard it here first. At the end of the year, when we're busting at the seams with viewers, breaking 10 million, PewDiePie's calling us, looking for deals and stuff, like you heard it here first. We're going to succeed. So that's my first one.
Oh, well, okay. I wasn't expecting that. I picked a little less career-oriented one.
That's okay.
Mine are strictly like game playing or things about video games, because this is our video game resolutions, right?
Yeah, everything about video games, but I wanted to include that because
that is video game related.
Yeah. Is about games, yeah.
Okay, well, my first one is going to be, and I learned this while playing Dragon Age Inquisition, and it's going to be, I'm going to try and stop obsessing over collectibles. I'm just going to try and stop trying to 100% games and collecting everything, and because at the point I am right now, I do not have time in my life to play near as much stuff as I would want to. And when I spend, countless hours collecting pointless things that really don't contribute to the story or add any real gameplay besides just wasting time, I'm going to try and cut back on those. Now, traditionally, I do a lot of those because I'm one of those people with certain games I really enjoy. I'll try and do everything. Like Black Flag, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I got almost every treasure chest. I found all the little, the sea shanties and the messages in the bottles. And there's like 5 different collectibles in that game. And I did every one of them. And at the end, I was like, okay, what did that get me? The sea shanties were cool, but besides that, nothing really that contributed to my enjoyment of the game. And I'm kind of in the same boat with Dragon Age. It's a game that takes a lot of playtime. I've played for about 50 hours, and I'm still not super far. I think I'm probably about halfway through the story. And I spend a lot of that time doing these pointless side quests, getting the shards and just getting herbs and running back and forth. And that's not fun. And I don't have enough time in the day to spend all my gaming time doing that. So that's one of my resolutions, is just to not sweat the little stuff. And try and just play more games and accomplish more things in games that don't involve collecting useless crap. So that's mine.
That is very respectable. Very respectable. And I think that there's going to be so much stuff coming out this year that you're not going to want to get bogged down.
Yeah, hopefully Witcher 3 isn't filled with collectibles.
Is Witcher 3 going to be the exception? Are you going to do that 100%?
Well, it depends. It depends if how much I love it. I mean, I have a feeling that's going to be a game that I love to death, but who knows? If it is, I might be lost in that for a long, long, long time, but we'll see.
Well, that is good. Very good one. Very good one. So the rest of mine are kind of along the same lines. They're more gaming specific. So the next one is something that I think I did really good in 2013, but I didn't do very good in 2014. And that is play a lot of different types of games, specifically indie games, and not getting caught up in one specific type of game. Mm-hmm. And that is where I dastardly glare over to MOBAs as a genre. We play a lot of MOBAs. I play a lot of MOBAs, even by myself, which is not a super amazing thing to do. It's usually not an enriching experience, but this year, I want to focus on playing more types of games and not letting myself get caught in these kind of endless loop games that are super fun. Don't get me wrong, they're super fun. But I reached that point where I want to start to kind of taste and see all the different types of games. And, you know, even if I think the game looks horrible, like, I still want to give that game a shot. So, and specifically in the indie world, like, you know, AAA games, you get, you know, March is a huge influx, but then it's kind of barren for a while. But every week there's new stuff coming on Steam. You know, early
Yeah.
access has all kinds of interesting ideas. So I kind of, this year I want to focus on playing as many games as I can to kind of fully realize all the different genres that are out there.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, my second one was actually kind of along those lines, and mine was play games in genres that I'm normally I don't play. Now, for me, that usually consists of JRPGs and strategy games, usually like real-time strategy games. I don't play hardly any of those, and like you said, I want to branch out to and try and play more indie games. Just try and broaden my horizons a little bit. Like I kept seeing it popped up on some Game of the Year list and won a bunch of awards. It's for the Vita. It's not a JRPG. But it's a Japanese game. I'm probably mispronouncing this horribly. Also, Danganronpa, Happy Trigger Havoc, I think is what it's called.
You're pretty close.
Yeah, I heard a lot of really positive things about that game. Now I don't have a Vita, so that's one complication. But that would be a game I would never really consider playing to begin with, which sounds awful. Like, I want to have an open mind, but just like looking at the box art and I'm not, I mean, I watch anime and stuff, so it's not like I'm like unfamiliar with all those kinds of things, and I like very specific types of JRPGs, but um, that game would be something that was outside of my usual uh, comfort zone. But I heard such good things, and I'd really like to get the chance to play it and dive in and kind of and see how I find something like that. And you know, if I don't like it, okay, cool. I don't like it, but I gave it a try, and I can see why people enjoy it. And I think that's at the end of the day kind of what I want to do. And it sounds like what you were saying is kind of along the same lines.
Cool. Yeah, I think we've reached that point where we are moving into a mindset of games are more than just entertainment. And not to say that like in the past that's all we've thought, but like specifically this past year I've been more intrigued at new types of games. Like, I know we talked about this in the last podcast and you were not too keen on this, but Alien Isolation was something I was really glad to experience, even though like that gameplay was not exactly like action oriented 100% of the time. But when I finished it, I was like, man, I'm really glad I got to like experience that as it happened. The same thing with Shadows of Mordor.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool to be there and have those crazy orc stories, and you had your crazy orc stories, and it was just really interesting. And I was like, man, how much of this are we missing out on by skipping over these Steam games, by not including these Vita games, Sony games, and things like that. So platform limitations are a thing. We said last time neither of us have a PlayStation 4. Who knows, I may end
Or
up
a
with
Vita,
one,
for that matter.
or a Vita. But so that'll be a limitation. But anything that I can play that will increase my gaming palette, I'm gonna try and hit it this year. So I think we're both in that spot. But speaking of which, I'm gonna move on to my next one, which this is something I'm really bad about, and it. But it originally started with Beat Witcher 3, but then I changed it to say
You mean Witcher 2?
beat the games that I get. I'm notoriously bad at not beating the games that I buy. And if I do beat them, it's one of those like I play them like 90% of the way and then I stop playing them for months and then I go back and beat them finally. And I remember the very first game that this happened on was Kingdom Hearts 1.
Oh, really?
I remember Kingdom Hearts 1, I bought it and I played it like super addictive until I got to the second to last boss fight with Riku.
It's a killer, man. That's a killer.
I know. Yeah, and I got my butt kicked over and over and over again, and I got really discouraged, and I put that game on the shelf for almost 2 years until I came back.
Until
2 years
Kingdom Hearts
later.
2 was coming out.
Well, yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 is about to come out. That's exactly what it was. And so I was like, I gotta do it. I gotta beat this game. So I sat down, I crunched through it, and then like immediately was like drinking the Kingdom Hearts Kool-Aid. And Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, and it was just super duper fun. But I always regretted not not finishing that game like when it was in its prime. But I mean, given we were really, we were in high school, early high school when that game came out. So it's not super bad, but I don't want that to happen again this year.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically with some of the absolutely amazing and new types of games that are coming out. I don't want to, like Sunset Overdrive. I still haven't finished it. I've heard the end is amazing. I've dodged spoilers, but like, I still haven't beat it. I need to do that. That's going to be something I do this week, hopefully. But I don't want that to be like, I've done it this year really bad. I'm not going to let myself do it next year because we've got awesome things like Witcher, Batman that are coming. Batman's never been really big of a problem. Like, I love Batman so much, but like games that I'm not already 100% sold on, like I want to beat those games too. And that kind of harkens back to like new experiences. Like, even if it's not my favorite game in the world, I should at least beat it, because I do believe that you can't really critique something entirely until you watch it or experience it all the way through, because you need
That's
to,
true.
the ending is just as important
As we learned
the...
with Mass Effect 3.
Yes. Yes.
You always gotta wait for the ending before you make your final judgments. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with that. I tend to set goals for myself. And for example, right now, I am only dedicating all of my gaming time to Dragon Age. And I will not play any other single player games. We still play like MOBAs, so we play Heroes of the Storm and stuff like that sometimes, but I will not play any other single player games besides Dragon Age. And until that is done, I have Assassin's Creed Unity sitting in the backlog, and I'm just waiting. And I have a bunch of games on Steam, and I'm waiting until I finish Dragon Age until I move on to those, because I'd hate not having games finished, and I don't like to get behind. And so I just set those little goals for myself, and I'm like, all right, this week I'm gonna try and get this far in Dragon Age, or like this week I'm gonna finish the game, or I want to accomplish these quests, and that's kind of how I knock it out. But it's hard. I mean, there's so much stuff. I mean, it's definitely a first world problem for you to have like all these shows and games and stuff that you want to finish, and you just can't seem to find the time in the day to do it. So you do have to kind of set goals for yourself in order to see it done. But it's a good problem to have, I guess.
Yes, very much so. So what's your next one?
This is one you can probably relate to, and it is cut down on nerd rage. Now, we do this a lot.
Yes.
And it's lots of different things. There's lots of different kinds of nerd rage. Sometimes we nerd rage. This is Fanboy Explosion, after all.
Yes.
Sometimes we nerd rage about things we're really passionate about. Like, I know we've had many discussions about the new Star Wars movie, and we're on like polar ends of the spectrum, polar opposites. I'm very cautious about the new movie, and very quick to. I mean, I think it'll be cool, and I'm excited, but I'm also very cautious about the future. Seth is very excited. He's all in, like, already. You're all in. You have no worries at all. You're like, this is gonna be an awesome movie, and I'm just so terrified that something's gonna go wrong or it's not gonna live up to my expectations. So trying to cut back on that, trying not to get too upset or like passionate about the things we love, I think is important. I mean, it's fine to be passionate, but you just kind of always got to make sure that it's not becoming something where it's like harmful to you or the people you're talking with or anyone else.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's one type, and the other type is just like in specifically single player games. I don't usually rage over, but multiplayer games. And now me and you both kind of have a history of this.
MOBAs.
League of Legends, specifically, a lot of the times, we get very angry, very angry at our teammates, at ourselves, at just losing in general.
Well, at each other as well.
At each other as well sometimes. I mean, as soon as it's over, we're right back to everything as normal. But
that's true friends, people. If you can just tell your best friend that he's a fucking moron for going that direction, and then right after that, you just blame
the
hug and make up and move on to the next match that you.
So yeah, cutting back on that, and I think I'm doing a better job of that. I think we're both doing a better job of that. Now, part of that reason is that we play much fewer games of League of Legends, I think is contributing to our general happiness.
You notice how one of my resolutions,
Yeah, I
yes, one of
gotcha.
my resolutions was don't get caught up in one game, and specifically, that's going to be League of Legends and or Heroes of the Storm. No. Just for a moment here, let's public record. I hit max character level in Heroes of the Storm. All right, that's level 40. Cameron, what level were you at?
I hit level 26 yesterday, actually.
Yes, and you got into the alpha like a week or so
I think
before.
I got earlier than
Yeah,
you.
you
I
got
was
in it
like a
earlier.
week before you.
So that just goes to show, like, I think I'm in a state of self-denial where I'm like, I don't really play by myself that much. But then I think about it, I'm like, oh my god, I really play this game way too much by myself.
Yeah,
So
they're fun, but in moderation, and you can't let the anger get overcome you. And at the end of the day, you're all just there to have fun, so you can't take things too seriously, I think.
I think Nerd Rage is a great one for both of us, and definitely MOBAs will be the training ground for that. Now, given I am Darth Turner, dark side runs in my blood.
You don't need to be dark side all the time.
Yes, not dark
You
side.
don't need to be Anakin Skywalker killing the younglings.
Definitely not. But I do need to be.
You need to be like the cool Darth Vader,
Oh yeah.
who like kind of sort of murders Jedi in honorable Jedi combat.
Well, that's all fan fiction now. So
That's all fan fiction, so never mind. No, that's not fan fiction.
well,
That still happens.
We know that it happened, but the only recorded data is the younglings, and then Obi-Wan.
Yeah, whatever. We'll see. I'm sure we'll see some.
Oh, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see that in Rebels, I'm sure. Or in Force Unleashed. We saw it in Force Unleashed, which is the most important piece of Star Wars canon in the past, like, 2 decades.
They threw that out, fortunately for all of us. So we don't. Why are we even?
I'm really upset, in case you can't tell.
Why are we even allowing this to be recorded for all of history?
Okay, I don't know. Okay, back on track.
Back on track.
You mentioned bonus. I don't.
Oh no!
understand
We'll get to
this
that.
bonus,
I've got two more. I've got two
you
more
have
things.
two more.
I've got two more.
Okay, well, you must have a lot more problems in your life than I do, because
Well,
I only had a couple.
That might be the case, but these last two are kind of fun. My fourth one is not to be so hard on Nintendo.
Okay, I'm all on. I like this one a lot, actually. I'm really on board with this one.
I am notoriously hard on Nintendo, and it's because I love Nintendo and I love the franchises. But boy, do I man, I get so frustrated about.
This guy rips Nintendo a new one anytime they do just about anything. We are sitting there and we're having a great time playing Super Smash Brothers, and then just I don't remember what starts the conversation, but then it's just he's going on about how they goofed up with the GameCube controllers and the adapters, and how they should have done everything like completely differently, and how it doesn't make any sense. And now, to be fair, some of that doesn't make sense.
I mean,
It's
I have
like
legitimate
the supply
theories
of GameCube adapters, which apparently is requires a precious metal and 5 weeks of production time, or 5 months of production time to create these things.
Yes.
Because they're almost impossible to find. So that's obviously, that's a concern. But Seth is very critical of their business. I would say specifically their business decisions and how they market themselves. And it's out of love, though. It's out of love.
I'll tell you, it's all out of love. And from a background perspective, like I went to school. I am trained in marketing a bit. I'm by no means a marketing expert, but I have a business mind about me. And just some of the things they do make no sense to me. But my resolution is this: like, Nintendo has been doing this for a long time, longer than most other companies have, and so they have a lot of experience. And I think they understand their market and they understand where they are. So my New Year's resolution for them is not to be so hard on Nintendo, because they actually had a great year this year. Basically ever since Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds came out early or late last year, like, they've just been on the upward for me. Like, I've been, I mean, things like the GameCube controller, like, they bug me. But I bought a Wii U last year. I mean, like I decided to finally purchase one of those because I wanted to. I'm like, I need to try. I bought an amiibo the other day just so I can try it out. I'm ready to get excited about Nintendo again, and so I'm going to dedicate myself to not writing them. But what I am going to do, I'm going to transition all of that scrutiny over to Ubisoft. And basically, like, they had you had 3 games coming out of the in Q3 and 4 this year, man, and it may be even more. But I can think specifically Assassin's Creed, Drive Club, and
No, Crew, not Drive Club.
oh, Crew. Sorry, yeah, the Crew and Far Cry. And
No,
Far
the
Cry
Crew wasn't. I mean, to be fair, I don't think the Crew was awful either. And Far Cry
yeah.
seemed to be good. I mean, really, we're talking about Assassin's Creed.
And what I'm talking about specifically is please ship the games, please make them work, ship them working, but also all 3 of those games had towers that you climb to explore to see more of the map. Like,
That's true. Well, they're all open world games, yeah. I mean,
they're
that's
all
true.
open world. Watch Dogs was the same thing. Watch Dogs was probably one of the biggest letdowns. Like, you promised us this like godsend of next
Oh, that came
generation
out last
gaming.
year, didn't it? I forgot
Yeah, it
about
did.
that.
And that was a complete, like, I wouldn't say failure, but it
It sold
definitely
well.
it sold well, and the expectations were probably higher than they needed to be. But given they did do that E3 demo that looked absolutely amazing, and then the next year they're like, "Oh, look at how the progress is coming," and they're like, "Wait a second, where did all the cool stuff go?" So,
Where did all
anyways,
the graphics go?
yeah, they all disappeared. So, but basically, like, I think each year has a butthead of the year. This year was Ubisoft. So all of my scrutiny will be on Ubisoft this year. You have The Division coming up. Don't screw it up. Don't mess it up. People are excited for that. I'm a little bit excited for that. Don't screw it up. So that's my 4th one, and you don't have any more, right? I have one more.
Yeah, I'm out.
Okay.
I'm out.
My last one is kind of goofy, but as I told you, I bought an amiibo a couple days back. Samus.
Oh, here we go.
Amiibo.
Here we go.
So the final New Year's resolution is to train this amiibo to be able to defeat Cameron as a person and all of Cameron's potential amiibos that he may purchase this year.
Impossible.
I
don't know. I don't know how good the amiibos are. I don't know how strong they are. And I'm not by any means a excellent Smash player. I've been playing for a long time since Melee, just with friends and stuff. So I'm like competent, but I'm not really. I'm not good, so I don't know how I will fare against like I don't know, what's the max amiibo level?
50.
50. I don't know how that like is comparable to like the AI in the game already, like the level 9 computers or anything. So challenge accepted, bring it on. I mean, as soon as he's level 50, I'll come over and me and Samus will battle it out.
I'll tell you this. I think Samus is around level 17 right now, and I am a much worse Smash player than you, I think, but Samus is doing things I didn't know Samus could do, like using the bomb attack to like dodge things in midair.
Okay, that's pretty advanced. That seems pretty advanced for a level 17.
Yeah, like turning into the ball, like the morph ball to like to go like it'll be literally like 1 inch above my up attack, and it'll just be like bloop, and then not only do I miss my up attack, but I get hit by a bomb. So like, not sure like how that's going to work when it gets level 50. But yeah, I think that it's going to be a pretty formidable foe for you to face. So make sure that you check us out. We do have social media and all that jazz set up. You can follow us on Twitter at Fanboy Explosion. You can follow me personally at Darth Turner, and Cameron, yours is
at COK Gamer on Twitter.
Cool. So make sure to follow us there. We have the Facebook and all that jazz as well. Fanboyexplosion.com is your place to go to get new episodes. We've got a new version of that site coming up very soon that is going to be super amazing. We're also going to be working on getting on iTunes, so you'll be able to subscribe through your favorite podcasting app. But make sure to keep following us online. Keep listening to the show. Tell your friends. We are here, and we're not going anywhere anytime soon. So thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.